Hi, I'm Paul Aldridge. Welcome to Australasian Bus and Coach TV. We're in beautiful Melbourne today to test drive this bus. You may be asking what this bus is. This bus is a Volgren-BYD collaboration. Volgren is Australia's largest bus builder and manufacturer of bus bodies in the country. Transdev are the lucky purchaser of this first electric, pure 100% bus. And Transdev are actually in a trial at the moment. It's going to be a 12-month trial with the Victorian government. And it's going to be great to see how this actual trial goes. But we're going to test drive this bus today and actually see what this electric bus is all about and how it drives. And I'm looking forward to showing you guys what it's all about. So let's go and take a drive of it and see how quiet it actually is. So here we are in the driver's area, the driver's compartment. It's a standard Optimus area, but there's a few different things that are in here that Transdev that employ. Look, we've got blind spot monitoring on left and right. There's two indicators here, so you've got blind spot monitoring. And there is another sensor on the side of the bus here that if you go to take off and you don't see that there's a passenger ready to get on, this will light up red, and I've actually experienced it today. It works fantastically, it really does. The BYD, the electrical part of the componentry in this LED display here, you can actually see how much power that you're using at any given time, how much battery life that you've got left, and how much power you're drawing from the batteries whilst you're driving. And that's a great thing to have. You've got your standard speedometer, speedo, you've got your tachometer, which is pretty cool, but this thing has actually got a lot of get up and go. You've actually got to be careful that you actually don't throw your passengers back off their feet. The electric has got a lot of oomph, really has a lot of torque off the takeoff. But look, the driver's area, there'll be no complaints from any driver here driving these buses. Visibility is great. Your mirrors are really good, but there's so much glass and it's a nice area. I could see that a driver being quite comfortable here on their full day of service while they're out. That takeoff's a bit jerky if you put your foot down hard, but I anticipated that from some electrical test drives that I've done before, so I sort of just took off very gently. But you can feel straight away that there's quite a lot of power there. When you're in the driver's area, there probably is a little bit more noise with the door and a couple of little rattles, just minor rattles, but nothing to be really worried about. But it is quiet. You don't have the motor sounds. Here we are. We're pulling up out of the roundabout. It's just quiet. How good is that? It's just so quiet. I think as a driver, if you're spending a week in here doing your route service, you'd have to be less fatigued at the end of the week. Yes, you've still got to deal with traffic and passengers and driving, but just not having all those extra sounds that a diesel motor has, that must have some impact on the driver. Really cool about this is the LED display down here. You can actually see how much power you're drawing. At present, I've just taken off and I've got to get up to 50 kilometres. I guess I'm getting up to 50 kilometres. At the moment, I'm drawing roughly about 47 to about 44 kilowatts of power, and I'm sitting just a tad over 50 kilometres an hour. If I back off, now I'm regenerating and I'm I'm actually putting 18 kilowatts back into the system. Okay, so here we are in the area of the electrical componentry. There's no motor in here. This is where the electrical, this is the powering source of this bus. It has 16 batteries. They're 324 kilowatts of power, and it roughly gets about 300 kilometres on average conditions of driving hills and stuff. So that's roughly about 1 kilowatt per kilometre of power it's going to use. There's 16 batteries. I believe that a lot of the batteries are housed on the roof. There might be some lower in the chassis area. You know, the bus is running right now. You can't even hear the bus running. The traffic and the outside noises are almost deafening compared to the no noise that you get from the bus. Okay, so here we are in the heart of the bus, and I've actually spent a little bit of time, probably about 30-40 minutes today as a passenger in here. The only problem that you have in an electric bus is, from going across from a diesel bus, is quietness. And the problems with quietness is handrails and stuff like this rattle around that you don't normally hear with a diesel bus because there's so many outside noises. We've seen this before in the Volgren buses, and what's really good, and being a route bus, and this probably goes across as a service bus for kids as well. You know, you've got the stipple stainless here that's just virtually indestructible, you know. Here we are with the disabled access in here. It's so easy, you know. A passenger can help a disabled person get into their chair. There's so much room, and I really like the flooring they've used in here. This flooring, it's like a wood grain. It looks like timber floor. It looks very, very strong. It looks like it'll stand up to a lot of abuse. One thing that, from a serviceability point with an electric bus, there's no belts, there's no oil. Brake pads are going to be something that aren't going to have to be replaced so often because you've got this degen. It brakes for you. It's using the motors, the electric motors, to slow you down. So serviceability for the tech guys and the mechanics is, it's going to be checking the electrical components. It's going to be checking batteries. It's going to be checking leads and wires to make sure that there's no fraying on the wires. There's no going to be laying underneath and dropping hot oil on you or getting grease on your fingers. It's going to be a thing of the past of electricity. Can't be a bad thing. Volgren spent 5 years developing this, I believe, and I think they've done a really good job. It's their first bus, and it's a testament to how well they do build bus bodies, and they're very passionate, I guess. But Transdev have really put this on the line, and they're trialling it for over 12 months on Punt Road. It's a busy route that it's probably the busiest one in Melbourne, one of the busiest, heavy congested, and they're putting it alongside of their diesel buses, and they're really going to see with the telematics what the savings are, and if at all. But I believe that obviously there is, and it's going to be interesting to see. But if you want to find out a little bit more about this bus, please grab a copy of the ABC mag, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.